To read the file back, we use open again, but pass a different mode string. Open wasteland.txt mode RT encoding UTF-8. In this case, we use the RT mode for read text. If we know how many bytes to read, or if we want to read the whole file, we can use read. Looking back through our REPL, we can see that the first write was 32 characters long. We can read that back with the call to the read method. In text mode, the read method accepts the number of characters to read from the file, not the number of bytes. The call returns the text and advances the file pointer to the end of what was read. The return type is str because we opened the file in text mode. To read all the remaining data in the file, we can call read without any argument, giving us parts of 2 lines in one string. Note the new line character in the middle. At the end of the file, further calls to read return an empty string. Normally, when we have finished reading a file, we would close it, but for the purposes of this exercise, we'll keep the file open and move the file pointer back to the beginning of the file using the seek method with a 0 offset from the start of the file. The return value is the new file pointer position. As a quick aside, it's important to note that, for text mode files, seek cannot be used to move to an arbitrary offset. In particular, when seeking from the beginning of the file as we do here, the only legal values for offset are 0 and any value returned by the file's tell method. Any other values will result in undefined behavior. Using read for text is quite awkward, and thankfully Python provides better tools for reading text files line by line. The first of these is the readLine function. The first call to readLine reads to the first new line. The second call reads to the end of the file. The returned lines are terminated by a single new line character, if there is one present in the file. The last line here does not terminate with a new line because there's no new line sequence at the end of the file. You shouldn't rely on the string returned by readLine being terminated by a new line. Again, the universal new line support will have translated to /n from whatever the platform native new line sequence is. Once we reach the end of the file, further calls to readLine return an empty string. Let's rewind again with g.seek 0. Sometimes when we know we want to read every line in the file and we're sure we have enough memory, we can read all lines into a list with the readLines method. This is particularly useful if parsing the file involves hopping backwards and forwards between lines. It's much easier to do this with a list of lines than with file streams of characters. This time, we'll close the file before moving on.